Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've seen Dudichies before. At least not as like in a previous tournament. So it'll be interesting to watch him play here.
Yeah, Dud, right? Is that who you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, Dudichies
Yeah,
or
Dudichies. I'm going.
Dudichies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Duddy. Yeah, we can go with Duddy. I've always known him as Dud for some reason. But yeah,
Okay.
I agree with you. See, I've seen him before. I recognize him for sure.
Hmm.
And here, but let me see something. I had it set to semifinals. There we go. Are you gonna put the FunkyHao music? No, guys. Let's keep it. Let's keep it profesh here. But yeah,
Yeah.
FunkyHao, our #1 seed in Ronin Ascension, going head to head against our #8 seed. But hey, there was a lot of great teams that didn't even make it to top 8 cut. So these guys are no slouches.
Exactly.
Exactly. Duddy here. Is going up against Funky, so let's wish these guys the best. And as I don't know if we said it before, but guys, good luck and have fun to all the top 8 contenders. And yeah, guys, keep pushing. We're almost through. I hope you guys aren't feeling too tired. But back to the game. FunkyHao doing FunkyHao things. Blue Valash does get picked
Yeah.
up for his side.
Absolutely. I mean, Valash once again, one of those, one of the Temtem you don't see as often nowadays. Ban on the electric fish as well is very important to note, because there are ways that Duddy can work around that with the two vine, but of course, the fact that he's running how many 4 winds in a water, the lightning fish is incredibly threatening. So understandably a ban there, but yeah, the first Valash pickup. Maybe trying to bait out the Grumper pickup in the opening. Of course, with potential Momos and Ukama pickups there. It's understandably so. The Kinu is going to be picked up here instead with the Valash. So, Funky might be just setting up the Valash here for success. I know FunkyHao. I believe he's been an advocate for Valash for so long now.
Yeah,
At
maybe
least
some
as a
regard
main
him
carry.
as the #1 Valash player in Temtem history. I could give him the title. I could comfortably give him the title. I mean, he's one of the infamous. I mean, remember as you always said, the what you gonna do about it. I think FunkyHao was one of the
Exactly.
pioneers there. And yeah, I've been playing the Temtem game ever since the beginning, as long as I can remember competitively. So well, good stuff from him. And there we go, picking up the Wolfie. But this is an interesting start. So Valash getting the buff on with Kinu and then going ahead against 2 wind temps, which are pretty powerful here. Grandpa and Volrin, you got that turn 2 potential turbo. It's looking good. It's looking good. I mean, but Valash, you're gonna try to punish it if he wants to go for a madness buff. So we'll see. I mean, all these guys are special attackers so far. And he doesn't really have melee damage, especially since this 2-rock got eliminated here. So this Valash might be very scary for Dud here.
Right. Duddy, with this Grandpa Volrant opening, might be aiming for that second turn turbo choreography. Most likely will actually attempt to do so, and obviously there's nothing FunkyHao can contest it with. Picks up the Luwali at the end, so a lot of wins here versus Funky's double fire. No direct weaknesses, so it'll be all about the brawls and the swaps here.
Yeah, exactly right. So let's get into it, guys. Nidrasil Team Cup quarterfinals is underway. We have our #1 seed, as we mentioned, representing Ronin Ascension. FunkyHao playing in that side, and then Dud over here representing Wermes on the other side. Let's see how the game is gonna go down here in the opening turn. I mean, if I were to have any way with it, it seems like a decent madness buff. But you gotta be careful, right, Blue? You got a FG perhaps, and a wind burst
Yeah.
could chunk you down quite a bit.
Yeah, and I don't think I've seen Duddy reveal the Volrant yet, so this might be aerobic and it might be anaerobic. So FunkyHao not gonna take a risk here, swaps it out immediately for that Wolfie. Just setting up for perhaps the second turn here. Windburst connects on the Wolfie, does a decent amount of damage, and Feathergathering as well, soon to follow. So a lot of damage there, and it is revealed to be aerobic. So the second turn with a turbo choreography is gonna be really scary for the side of FunkyHao, because there's actually a chance here that if turbo goes off before HKS, this Wolfie might get one shot. But if anything, I think HKS should go before, or it should go first, and then turbo choreography should follow here, depending on speed.
Yeah, so it was confirmed there. As you said, we didn't know what kind of bird it was. We are confirmed it is the glass cannon aerobic Volant, so increase in speed. So this is your heavy hitting hyperkinetic strike. Doesn't really have kill potential right now, but wait a minute, I say that when we got 2 HKS potentials. Wolfie,
exactly.
Wolfie might be saying goodbye here very soon. I mean, you know what hurts the worst is that anything you swap into Riken, Catfire, Valash is gonna take a devastating amount of damage, easily over 50%. So yeah, this double HKS might be really putting a toll onto FunkyHao's team. We have to see though, we have to see if there's any way he could try to mitigate some damage, or maybe the best way to mitigate some damage is by just eating it with Wolfie here. Instead of having it to go to the back line. So we'll see what FunkyHao elects to do.
Yeah, this is a lot of pressure here for the second turn of GodII. Again, 1 HKS on top of a turbo choreography is going to be extremely devastating. Double HKS is also potentially a possibility here. Either way, you get your Volant set up, and you're going to do some raw damage. In fact, that's what's going to be attempted here. Turbo choreography applied on the Volant. And no HKS here takes some time to set up a little bit more aerobic. Now at almost maximum, probably will max out next turn if he does make another wind move there. Plague strikes, exhaustion, and cage. So Volant is trapped in, but I'm not sure who's trapped with who here. Hypnosis as well puts the grandpa to sleep. But the bigger threat here is, again, this Volant. You literally can't touch this man. He's really fast.
Yeah, and you know, Funky has a little bit of an answer. So because it's an aerobic bird, it does have that special defense reduction. Wolfie and Kinu both special attackers, but of course Wolfie we just saw is half effective. But Kinu, maybe no special attack investment, but still a simple beta burst, neutral damage into the Volant. That's at least, you know, 20-30% because that -2. So decent damage with the Kinu. However, as you said, Blue, this guy is not messing around. +4 speed at HKS is going somewhere. Most likely on the Wolfie to try to take it down there, or will take it down if it connects. So let's see.
Grumper swapped in, Chamomile procs of course, so gonna be setting up for perhaps an Earth Wave here. Valash does swap in, so the Grumper will be ready with Mud Shower as well. This Valash is not gonna be swapping into a lot of fun here. If HKS does come out, we'll see where that directly goes. It does go on the Catfire and almost instantly kills it. This Catfire drops to 8% HP. Bullard doesn't quite do the job, but surely one more Feather Gatling should do it, or again, a Mud Shower should be clearly enough.
Yeah, and you know, FunkyHao bringing out this Valash to try to Crystal Spike in, and at this range, I think it might go all the way down from special defense -3. It might be close, but pretty close to going all the way. But yeah, with this +5 speed, you're always guaranteed to go off, even with the 3 prio from that Crystal Spike. So yeah, Catfire should be going down if it stays, but maybe it might be a Kinu swap. It doesn't seem too bad of an idea. You get Kinu in here, eat the attack, and then of course you buff up this big O carry here in Valash, which you always love to see. The only thing you want to be a bit hesitant of is Grumper does have Mud Showers. Mud Showers is effective into Valash, and Funky hasn't started setting up in terms of madness buff, so if he madness buff and a Mud Shower, you might get a little bit too low.
Yeah, Kinu gonna get swapped in, and it is very concerning. The Valash is not yet set up. It is FunkyHao's bread and butter, but the bread and butter is gonna be taking a toxic plume to the face as well. Kinu drops him below 50% HP here for sure. Next turn, but the Crystal Spike doing a lot of damage, shuts down the Volant. Of course, that is the curse of the aerobic Volant, but the Mud Shower gonna at least trade here damage into the Valash. Of course, Both now below 50% HP, still no madness buff. That Valorant was an isolated case, at least in terms of the raw damage that Valash was able to do. But now, Duddy still has Grandpa, Golder still available, and the Wally with the Resin Trap is also incredibly dangerous here.
Exactly right. So yeah, I mean, one tem down for Funky, but look at how much damage this single Volar and the Grandpa pairing was doing. Look at Funky's team, they're all under 50% except for this Riken. One of them essentially all the way down already. I mean, he got rid of the Volar, but it came at a heavy cost. Of course, Mud Showers did a little bit into play there, but still a lot of damage done for Dud. So even though he's down a tem, he's still not completely out of it because that HP advantage there. Remember, Grandpa did retreat, I believe, right, Blue, without HKSing, so that could be online or is online.
It's yes. HKS is still locked and loaded on his Grandpa, which concerns me because now FunkyHao has to rely on that Wolfie to deal with Grumper, but he's at 26% HP. Going onto the field is so risky right now for FunkyHao.
Exactly, so we'll see. I mean, HKS, this is no madness buff, but it's still at +2 special defense thanks to the Kinu, so maybe survives it. Wait a minute, Valash did not get targeted, instead is the Kinu. Ooh. Oh, nice play, taking care of the enabler, which is the Kinu, so well done. I mean, Valash does get some good hits there though.
Ooh, Mud Shower still gets thrown out, does so much damage, 31%. Valash is, again, Valash has to be the main carry here for FunkyHao, at least that's what the objective is. But this Grumper is just pressuring it so much, Valash will never be able to madness buff ever again here, unless there is some obstacle, perhaps Riken gets picked off and Grandpa gets picked off to follow on top of the madness buff. But this Grumper is putting so much pressure that, I mean, Valash, if he makes a mistake, he just instantly dies here.
Exactly, and man, I would have thought he was gonna gun down this Valash, but maybe just wanted to guarantee that kill on the Kinu. Or Blue, you let me know if you could think of or any kind of reasoning he went for the Kinu instead. I mean, I kind of see it, but you could have, with the Mud Showers as well, that could have been a dead Valash. I mean, he might regret it a little bit if Valash gets some more scavengers.
Right, but the main problem is that FunkyHao's Valash hasn't madness buff, so it doesn't actually deal that much damage yet in comparison to a lot of the Temtem on the board for the side of Duddy, or at least in comparison to the Grandpa. Hypnosis applied on the Riken, of course. Mud Shower will shut down the Capfire kill there, and the big thing is you don't even get scavenger buff there. Capfire just sort of takes the hit, and now FunkyHao down to 3 Tems. And again, still lacks the methodology to deal with this Grumper. Now swaps in the Wolfie to try and deal with it. But HKS is still available. I don't think we've seen HKS. At least it should be back up now.
Yeah,
so this
exactly.
Wolfie is going to die.
Exactly. So he did HKS the Kinu. He hypnoses the Riken. So yes, HKS is 100% locked in, loaded, ready to go. And I mean, anything is looking juicy. More than likely we'll be going after this Wolfie named Devil Fox, and at 26% there's not much to do. I mean, I think Dud running away with this, steamrolling it with the momentum he's had early game. But here it goes, HKS Devil Fox going down.
Absolutely one-shot the Wolfie here. Scavenger buff just heals up the Valash a little bit more, but this is the problem. The Grumper is literally doing more damage than Scavenger can heal him, and that's mainly because he only has +2/+2. And again, he can't retaliate. Even though he does neutral damage to Grumper, it's not like there's enough damage there that Grumper has to be scared, or even the Grandpa for that matter. I'm not sure if Valash can even kill Grandpa at this point. That he doesn't take the chance, swaps out into that Golder, and will play solid as stone. Now the two tankiest Tems on his board, on his side of the field at least, are on the field. 21% damage there. Quetzaleno tries to throw it down, and the Golder takes a dent. But the Valash, he's taking a dent. It's a hole in a grave. So unfortunately, he'll be out. And only Riken left to fight. Grumper and Golder. This is not looking very good, and it looks like FunkyHao understands as well that Duddy takes the first game. I believe. Absolutely. So right now, Faiman and Buffduck currently on the teams, and already again, obviously entirely new teams because they're literally not allowed to repeat a Temtem, which is understandably so. So you can already see sort of different play style here from both sides. Obviously, Wermes did not have a Kinu on the previous team, so Kinu is on this board. Buffduck will be running the mix and the Volcrane. So the biggest thing I'd like to point out here is this is a bit rough here for Buffduck. There's a straight up counter for Babawa on the other side with that floating squid, right? Calibus. He's able to pummel out enough damage that Babawa is probably gonna get one shot or very close to. So already just straight and direct counters there. Of course, can respond with the Golder and the Nidrasil against perhaps a Cerny for a Kinu. But in comparison, I would say actually the fact that Yaula gets instantly picked here and only Kinu's... Oh, actually, no. There's also a Barchi. So, never mind. Yaula's actually pretty threatened because the only Crystal Tem on the side of Buffduck has been removed. So, this is going to be an interesting first turn. Faiman definitely has the advantage here, but this is going to be... I think I do favor Faiman here, at least for the time being.
Yeah, and good stuff. Faiman getting it done on the orange side, which some would say a little bit more of a disadvantage. But here it goes, Buffduck. Actually, wait, I take that back. I forgot who we're playing against. Buffduck had the option. Actually, no, wait. He chose to be blue side. I forgot. Sometimes Buffduck likes to play the orange side, but never mind. I'm mixing them up. But yeah, Buffduck going with Babawa. So a heavy hitting Water Current Lily just to try to chip down this flimsy Barchi. I think just 2 Water Current Lilies. We'll see if it does over 50%, but it could very well do it.
Yeah.
Actually, with the Kinu buff there, it might have to be 3 WCLs.
Exactly, and I'm pretty sure Calibus is getting removed here, or Cerny, if either one is too big of a problem to let loose. Calibus, of course, deals with Bubbleug directly, and then there's the Cerny. Well, we know where Cerny is going. So, in terms of that, I think what's being considered here is Buffduck really wants to use Babawa as much as possible, because if that is the case, then Calibus ban is for sure the direction to go here if he wants to be a bit more, be able to sort of, actually, now that I think about it, Cerny or Calibus, they both really hurt Buffduck's team, so either way, it would have been a solid ban, but now, yeah, Calibus, I believe the only ways Calibus can be dealt with here is the 2 Kai, at least for ease of access, at least. 2 Kai is probably the only way to deal with this Calibus. So
yeah,
was really considering banning the Calibus, but got rid of the Cerny instead. So we'll be utilizing, maybe trying to go around this Calibus kit instead of banning it directly.
Of course, and it works a little bit the both ways, right? 2 Kai very strong against Calibus, but Calibus very strong against 2 Kai as well. Those toxic inks will start chunking them down. 2 Kai faster than Calibus, so if it comes down 1v1, 2 Kai will be getting it there. But Faiman, good stuff. So recruiting Mashuk onto his team, getting ready for the potential Volcrane if it's picked up, but it might just be a Mashuk on Buffduck's side too. So yeah, nice lineup so far. So nothing like direct answers to each other's team, but it might go a little long here for sure. We'll see though.
What scares me the most is this Yowler is facing double mental in the opening, and he has no way to heal himself, nor is there really a direct support for the side of Buffduck's team. So I'm concerned with how he's going to basically conserve this Yowler's strength, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, here we go. Game number 2 of our quarterfinals. Ronin Ascension versus Wermes. And Faiman getting things started here. Our alpha hero. So shout out to Faiman for playing even in the alpha. A true OG. A very, very true OG. But yeah, keeping things rather straightforward. Both of these mental Tems, they have beta burst. So does Buffduck want to retreat the Yowler, or is he just staying in? I mean, it seems a bit risky. I feel like double beta burst has to be coming. But of course, that could be just the obvious play. Faiman with, the high level plays that these guys do. Maybe wants to start chipping away at Babawa, reading a Yowler swap, maybe Hypoxia, just to do some good damage. But we'll see. I mean, another potential. Maybe bring out Calibus to try to deal with Babawal the second turn.
Yeah, I mean, for the time being, I think Faiman can actually play the safe here if he really wanted to. Beta burst the Yowler spot, bamboozle the Kinu, and you get that protection of the Kinu in case WCL comes out. Actually, he goes first, so none of that really matters. So doing a lot of damage here on the Barnchi. 27% is not bad, but you're gonna have to pump out a little bit more. Yowler stays in actually, and will be taking that bait burst to the face. In fact, take both of it to the face.
Oh.
So not bluffing at all. Faiman just goes straight forward. Clinch, gonna get thrown down, but that's half damage on a Barnchi, and Barnchi is just fine. Comebacker, be damned. It did very little damage, and Yowler again. Who's healing the Yowler, right, for that kind of very aggressive play? Nobody. And Yowler is not that fast, at least in comparison to someone like Wolfie or someone like Mashuk, who can just throw out a couple of jabs and can actually tank a couple of hits from a Yowler. So that is a bit rough of a trade.
Exactly right, and yeah, no bluffing whatsoever. The double beta burst, not overthinking it, and look at that, bringing Yowler all the way down to 20%. So another beta burst will be too much. So trying to swap out there now. And yeah, okay, Waterkin Lily with the water synergy now going in, trying to take down this Barnchi, but not doing enough. Energy manip just in case the Yowler decided to stay in. Does go after that slot there. Tukai not taking too much, but it does get trapped.
And also
the
handcuffs. Oh, that is
nice.
So good. Revitalize as well gets rid of most of the damage from that previous Waterkin Lily, and this is the problem. Babawa isn't pumping out enough damage, and yes, Tukai's on the field, but I have a strange feeling. You know, the Calibus might get swapped in here, and Calibus, it's a buffet night, right? You can swap in Calibus for the Kinu, perhaps. EM the Babawa, and they're both caged. They're just stuck here, and they have to take that toxic ink damage. Of course, again, Tukai with a heavy wind burst, perhaps maybe not the safest Calibus swap in, but right now, Buffduck is not in a comfortable position into a Calibus, so Calibus Barnchi sort of position, or Calibus Kinu. So that is also a concern that he has to think about. But yeah, at the moment, Babawa just not doing enough damage here to scare Faiman off. I mean, he can stay like this if he really wanted to as well.
Yeah, those Waterkin Lilies not chunking as much as we're used to. Perhaps this Kinu buff playing more into effect than when we're used to. Maybe more HP than we're usually used to seeing on this Barnchi. But good stuff so far. I mean, yeah, as you're saying, Blue, Calibus could swap in for the Kinu slot here. But hey, if Buffduck wants to go with the read there, a heavy tornado onto the Kinu slot. That way, if Kinu stays in, you take a good damage. If it swaps out, those are two toxic potentials. And then Wolfie takes a fair amount of damage. So we'll see.
This is incredibly problematic here for the side of actually I say that, but it's actually not that bad in retrospect, right? Looking at both teams, Calibus swapping is still not safe, because again, Tukai just still deals with that very easily or very nicely. So even if Calibus does come in here, it will be solid, but no, Wolfie comes in, even better of a choice. Now that Tukai is trapped in, Plague will for sure get rid of it. Marshuk, read by Buffduck here, will be able to at least put some uppercuts and perfect jabs into that Wolfie slot. And the Calibus comes in, so half right here. It does double swap into this threatening combo here. Wolfie and Calibus. Toxic into Plague should pretty much instantly kill Tukai here.
And yeah, as you said, so playing those mind games, we were thinking Calibus in for Kinu, but not taking any damage, retreats the Barnchi in for Calibus. So beautiful stuff. You see why these players got here into the top 8 cut. So yeah, Calibus coming in, getting in scotch free, and it has a chamomile on top of that. So does protect it from, I guess, cage, from cold breeze or anything like that. But yeah, so Calibus with a heavy toxic ink potentially looking at this Tukai. It is trapped. It has no way to retreat. So it does have to eat it,
Yep.
but at the same time, oh, wait a minute. Tukai gets brought down right here, right now.
Exactly. The double up here is incredibly devastating. The wind burst into that Wolfie. On top of the uppercut, almost gets the trade, but not quite there. The Wolfie survives at 2.8% HP, allows it to swap in or force swap into just a quick cheeky plague. And again, there's no way Buffduck heals here. He's not in. He doesn't have a Temtem that does that. All he can do is slow down the amount of damage he bleeds out. But with the Golder swap in, if that's strong liver, then it's pretty much immune to the Calibus. But besides that, this sort of double toxic is just sort of holding up a wall. Barnchi can still swap in here, and hasn't been revealed that we're not sure if it's Air Specialist or Neutrality because it hasn't used the Wind move yet. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see eventually when that comes down to it.
Yeah, really good call. We only seen mental techniques coming out from this Barnchi. But yeah, let's see what typing this Golder is. I mean, it might come into play. Mashuk has some melee techniques. If it is a punching bag, might be able to live a lot more Mashuk uppercuts than usual. But if it's a strong liver, I mean, Toxic never really does too much against Golder anyways. But hey, a heal's a heal. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But yeah, Buffduck almost with an impenetrable board as it stands. Wolfie can't do anything to these guys. Calibus can't do anything to these guys. But what you can do is you can play.
Whoa.
Oh wait, no, there's no handcuffs. Never mind. The handcuffs is
There's
on
no
Barchi.
handcuffs. Yeah. So Toxic Ink will be thrown down here onto the Calibus, but Calibus just sort of shrugs. Right, cool. Golder will also be taking that Toxic Ink. And that's big. Golder being removed from this means that Barnchi is going to have a grand old time. There we go. Hypoxia, Tornado, you name it. This Mashuk is not going to have a fun time. Literally, pretty much every move this Barnchi can do to deal damage on the Mashuk will hurt it quite considerably.
Exactly.
So Calibus removing the Golder from the equation just removes more potential damage that could go the way of this Barnchi.
Yeah, and really fantastic play for Faiman because he knows Calibus not going to be doing much against Mashuk and Golder, so might as well make that Golder have to rest because of that strangle. So well done. And as you mentioned previously, Blue, Barnchi has done nothing but mental attacks, so Tornado, Hypoxia, those techniques are online. Heavy hitting Tornado might be heading into Mashuk's direction. I don't think it's going to do 88%, but we will be going into that red HP, especially if this is an air specialist. I would maybe assume so. If you're rocking handcuffs, if you don't have a hand fan, maybe you're trying to get that extra wind damage with air specialist, but it could kind of go both ways. Maybe it's not like a full special attack and it's just neutrality, so that's why you're using handcuffs. So we'll just see. We'll wait and see.
Kinu gets swapped in here, and again, that gamble has to be considered. Do you Urushiol this Barnchi's spot in hopes of Toxic? And in fact, no, goes for the Kinu slot instead. Predicted that swap in for the Kinu. Great read there. Barnchi
nice.
Yeah, it does 51% damage straight up. So another one of those will not go.
Yeah, but I
will
think
not go as well.
Yeah, I think that was a good play. You beta burst this turn, and now I think it's Tornado. So he was just trying to get it into Tornado territory, and of course Tornado gets to outspeed everything. So perhaps you brought in Kinu here to just hypnosis this Golder. We don't know what item is it on it, so it could be an energy drink. We don't know yet. But yeah, maybe a play here, potential if everything goes Faiman's way. Hypno the Golder, Tornado the Mashuk. How can Buffduck counter this so far? I mean, he has Babo on the back line to try to eat up that damage.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part about this is that Barnchi has yet to make a wind move. Baboa gonna get swapped in here. Perhaps it does not have any. EM gets thrown out, and the cage that's so big on the Baboa as well. Calibus can now swap in. And who are you gonna swap in to scare away the Calibus, right? The Bushuk. The Hypnosis gets thrown out as well, shutting down the Golder's position. And this is now probably Buffduck's worst nightmare. Baboa. Oh, Baboa didn't get caged. I forget.
Yeah.
Mucus. Or
Yeah,
grease,
actually, yeah, almost. I think it had a grease there, so the grease item not keeping it there, because that would have spelled doom with a swap in back to Calibus or something like that. But you know, this is very interesting. Faiman has had a couple opportunities to let go of a wind move here, and back to back has only done mental techniques, so it has me thinking, are we not running any wind techniques on Barnchi, or are we going crazy here?
I mean, he could be running Bamboozle for sure, right? I mean, he has to have a wind move, surely. Unless they planned for this.
At least
and
Tornado.
Sure. Yeah. This might be a specialized Barnchi, you know, with made from the master chef with love. It's not your typical Barnchi. Heal up though, Revitalize does come in. The Barnchi is healed up. Aqua Stone to wake up the Golder, so Toxic Ink is guaranteed, but Meta Burst comes out and no wind moves still revealed. But obviously that still does damage nonetheless. Toxic Ink thrown out. Kinu goes down after revitalizing the Barnchi and not a single wind move. So
yeah, but man,
this mission, yeah, this might not have a wind move.
We'll see. I mean, all the movesets hasn't been revealed, but such a good play for Buffduck. You gotta give him credit for it. Faiman did not take into account the waking up of Golder, so Aqua Stone, of course, does no damage to Golder, so essentially just a free wake up there. And yeah, Kinu going all the way down, so well done for Buffduck, eliminating that huge, not threat, but potential to make a big threat in that Kinu. So well done. It's going down to 4v3 situation. A lot of HP on the side of Faiman. I can't say the same about Buffduck here, but has some answers. I mean, Barnchi for the Yowler, Babawa, maybe a couple attacks for the Barnchi. We saw Watercan Lily at +2 defense. It might have to be 3 Watercan Lilies to take it down, so that's gonna be rough. And then we're gonna have the good old Toxic v Toxic. This one might go long for sure.
Yeah, and the big thing again about the Toxic v Toxic is if Golder is punching bag, then Mushrook and Calibus do very little. If he's strong liver, then Calibus is useless against that in the engagement, really. Watercan Lily is thrown out there, does a decent chunk of damage, but not a lot. And again, EM is thrown out. So this Barnchi, again, still refuses to reveal any of its wind moves. Didn't have to. Times 4 damage. Calibus shuts down the Babawa. Gets that out of here. Yowler's still in the back, though. But Yowler, I'm not sure how much his impact does, and neutrality is revealed.
There it is. So neutrality indeed. So definitely not hitting as hard. You know what? Without a hand fan, without air specialist, yeah, maybe not too. Maybe it's running something else. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, Bamboozle, as you said, Turbo can be another thing, but he doesn't have a wind Tems.
He doesn't have another wind Tem. Yeah, exactly. So that might not be. Well, what else is Barchi have?
You could do what's the move called? Oh, what is the one that puts everyone to sleep? Why can't I think of it?
Not Lullaby. I know what you mean.
I'm drawing a blank. I know what it is. Piggyback usually does it. It's the one prior move. Yes.
It's relax. Yes.
Maybe a little relax. Yeah. How could you know? Maybe it's better that we forget about the good old relax meta.
Yeah. Listen, that meta was literally Resident Sleeper. EM is gonna be thrown out here. Yowler is for sure dead. There's no way this Yowler lives. And unfortunately, again, that's what happens when you let the Yowler take so much damage so early. The greed just did not pay off. Toxic Ink thrown out again. And this Barchi being immune to Toxic Ticks means that it is also untouchable in this matchup. The Mushrook swaps in, but the Mushrook will die from another Beta Burst. It took 51% from the previous one. It hasn't gotten any stronger since. So, Wermes takes the second match.
Still on Team B, Blue.
Alright. I cannot confirm. It doesn't look like... Okay, 1 point goes to Tsubaki-chan and Kanzaki's team. Tsubaki-chan will be playing as player B for this one. I was going to say the reason why they took so long is because Tsubaki-chan played first, you know, as a joke.
Oh wait, this is C. This is C. So Tsubaki is C.
Yeah.
So they could be 1-1, and then let's see Tiki and the boys. Where is they at? Where are they at? Yeah, Zuko's C. So yeah, this is the last game. So 1 apiece. Let me put the names in here.
Absolutely. So it is Tiki and the boys versus.
And yeah, you know what, Blue? I think Tiki is sleeping over here. So yeah, not gonna see his team perhaps win, perhaps lose. We'll see. I'm sure he's dreaming about wishing them some good luck here. But what else? So let me get. So I got Tsubaki and the Dwarves.
Oof.
And very similar teams. It's crazy how they're lining up like this.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, if you have Tsubaki-chan on your team, you want him to have his destruction duo of Gold or Nagaise, right? So I'm sure there was a discussion on who would divide up which Temtem. And Tsubaki-chan with the Nagaise Golder combo, I mean, for sure, would be his. So I'm not surprised there too much. But they also gave Saku and Wolfie. It is insane. I'm wondering who they sacrificed, who has the short end of the stick here, because this is literally almost the entirety of Tsubaki-chan's team.
Exactly right, and yeah, one apiece. So this is it. The last match to go, game 3 situation. Tiki and the boys versus Tsubaki and the two dwarfs. A 1 game apiece. Emily, you like the name?
Oh, that's why. No, I just realized. Yeah, I just read their names. Oh my god. I was like, why did Tsubaki-chan have his entire team? Oh, Tsubaki-chan and the two dwarves. They probably sacked their cops just so Tsubaki got his roster. But Maddest Buff into Bamboozle is absolutely disgusting.
This might have cost Tsubaki. Oh, Strange Vest. Never mind. Oh, this would have been devastating without that Strange Vest.
Well, yeah, I mean, fortunately, right, not to give too much credit, Tsubaki-chan, I believe, does always run Strange Vest. I'm pretty sure that's his go-to item on Nagaise. So, fortunately, nothing much changed really for Tsubaki-chan's squad. It's pretty much the same. Unfortunately, I don't think Zuexo is running, the exact team he always runs in this kind of scenario. And the big problem now is that Maddest Buff is on. Sai Surge is going to pummel on top of a really fast Golder here from the side of Tsubaki.
Yeah, I mean, if things go the same way as they went in the previous opening turn, I mean, Golder had the Bamboozle, but because Golder's also slow on Zuko's side, that goes first as well. So Cerny opens it up for another one, and Water Candy will kill from this position as well. But Nagai's doesn't have too much potential. I mean, a Psy Surge or Beta Burst will chunk, especially at +2 special attack. It will definitely chunk one of these, but nothing too crazy. Nothing over 50%, I would imagine. So potential swaps here. Sure. I don't think Nagai's wants to stay in, but the other Tems don't feel too good either. I mean, Saku will eat a Toxic Ink to the face unless the Bamboozle protects it. Yeah, you know what? Saku maybe. And then you have a Tornado for the next turn, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Tsubaki-chan also has to consider, is the Cerny fast enough to actually, kill my Nagaise? Can I get away with actually murder here, or is this a bit too risky? He knows that the Golder's 1 SV on his side. Zuexo also has a Nagaise, so that's probably what he's thinking about is, does he have a 1 SV Golder? And there you go. He says, nah, I'll swap out here. Fair enough, understandably so. Wolfie will be coming in instead to take that bullet. Zuexo actually reads the same. He might not be fast enough to avoid that. So Calibus will be coming in instead, applying that pressure on the Wolfie slot. And just being a formidable wall against the supposed Golder. Bamboozle is thrown out. Just in case the Cerny tried to double up with the Golder, but again, Tsubaki-chan, actually, that was a great read. Zuexo went first, so Tsubaki-chan now knows the Golder on the side of Zuexo is also 1 SV.
Exactly, but now with the Sea Aura gone, Zuko's Tem going second only means that now it is indeed faster than Tsubaki's Tems now. So maybe him with some Bamboozle pressure, but maybe not even necessary. Maybe just trying to go on the offense here. Another attack to pop the Wolfie. And then you just get, I guess, another either water technique, as in water jet. Or actually, wait, right. Calibus should go before the Golder, though, because Golder's just all-time slowest. So yeah, he would have to pop it. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Calibus would have to pop it. So he only has, Harmful Lick. He has a Toxic Ink potentially going to Wolfie. But at the same time, Tsubaki doesn't really have too much pressure. Maybe a Plague on Calibus. That does some good neutral damage. but nothing too dramatic, nothing too crazy, as we keep saying.
Yeah, and don't get fooled. Nagaise Madness buffed itself, so it's actually technically, relatively speaking, it's all right for the most part. So don't get fooled by that. If the Nagaise gets a swap in, gets the side surge off, something is for sure gonna take a whole lot of damage. So it's gonna be in the back just in case for that. Tsubaki-chan actually swaps out the Goldie here. Will not slow play this. We'll switch into the Grumper just to try and deal with the Calibus. Of course, with the Chamomile, we'll make that fairly straightforward. Surnif gets swapped in here for Zuexo. Really wants to get this Surnif set up. Lifeful Sap gets rid of the Toxic Ticks, and the Chamomile makes that Toxic Tick do only 9% damage. So good read there for Tsubaki-chan. And Zuexo, a lot of posturing in this game. Obviously, they both want a valuable position to work with, especially since Zuexo is running a settling Surnif. So definitely a lot of setup needed from both sides.
Exactly. And you saw settling proc? I didn't see it, but if you saw it, I'm gonna definitely believe it.
Yes.
Okay, 100%. So Zuko may be leaning towards leaving this Tem on the board. Not gonna be taking big damage. And yeah, nothing is big. There's no fire Tems for these nature Tems. So we'll see. WCL on the other hand does some good damage onto both of these.
Oh my god. Absolutely. Yeah, that's so much damage. Bush comes out here, but a bit too late. Special defense is nice. Toxic is also blocked, but that was so much damage on the side of the Wolfie. Stone Wall as well to protect it a little bit more. But yeah, regeneration fortunately gonna keep the Wolfie healthy. But that was a lot of damage from the Surnif, and that was just one proc of settling, so quite a strong setup here. At least a max attack Surnif, or maybe the Wolfie just doesn't have any defenses here.
Yeah, and something else to know, they were both 3 prio moves, right? WCL's 3 prio, Wolfie is 3 prio on the Bush, so Wolfie can't rely on future Bushes to try to outspeed the Surnif, because we just confirmed it here. Surnif on Zuko's side is faster than Tsubaki-chan's Wolfie, so that's a lot of information Zuko gets to work with going forward. So we'll see. Of course, Bush is not online currently as he just used it. But you know what? That's double damage as well onto Grumper. This Surnif is looking very strong into Tsubaki's board.
Yeah. I'd like to point out, Zuexo has literally not taken a point of damage. None. Zilch. And obviously, I may have overlooked this because I thought the positioning was fine. But in reality, Tsubaki-chan, you know, sometimes I say, essentially, you can keep swapping all you want. You're not doing any damage, right? You need to be able to put your swapping into valuable use. And right now, Tsubaki-chan, he has yet to perform, at least for the damage output. So he might have to Thunderstrike the Calibus here just to output something. If he does another swap and Zuexo just stays in, then he's just going to take a punishment. Tsubaki-chan will swap out the Wolfie here. Golder will come in, so maybe just trying to rely on that massive burst. Zuexo reads that perhaps the Grumper will stay in, so the Calibus will be swapped out for the Golder as well. We'll see if the Calibus does, the Grumper does stay in. In fact, it does. WCL will severely punish the Grumpers maintaining and stay. Double Edge comes down, and okay, it looks like Tsubaki-chan will be playing the good old formidable invincible wall strat, seemingly at least. So
yeah, I agree, not a bad idea. There was no wind Tems on the side of Zuko. That's usually the one way. No feather Gatling, no tornadoes, no wind burst, no hypoxia. So if you buff up this Golder, I mean, Golder's a good answer to Surnif. It is a settling Surnif, so no ticking up every time you Toxic Ink. So little by little, this Golder should be able to take care of the Surnif. So good swap for Tsubaki, understanding that. And understanding that you buff up Golder, no direct answer. So trying to build up this Golder to be that problem Tem against Zuko. So well done so far. But yeah, I mean, it came at a cost. Surnif did a lot of damage onto Grumper, and with each and every passing turn is gonna be chunking that much more with that 8% increase thanks to the settling trait.
Yeah, obviously diminishing returns as the damage slowly mitigated by the fact that buffs are continually applied. The Moozle is going to be thrown down on the Saku. Toxic get completely blocked as well. And Tsubaki-chan, again, his objective is to just set up and keep setting up because right now Saku is on the field, so he's able to deal with his Golder a little bit better. Of course, again, Nagaise can't swap in really into this spot, so he might actually start doing some damage now with the Saku on the field. So I think Tsubaki's plan has always been to just slow down the pace and just tank up here until eventually Zuexo just doesn't deal damage. But it's not like Grumper can heal himself, so or Nagaise, in fact. There's no way to heal them. So right now, Tsubaki-chan definitely behind on the damage department, as the Naga will come in here. Lifeful Sap is thrown out, and so he's going to continue setting up here, but Toxic Ink is for sure thrown down, so the damage is there, and the trade comes out though. So at least a 1-for-1 trade, favoring the side of Tsubaki this time, but the Seat Aura is now up, which means that these Golders will be going first.
Yeah, let's take a look. So the Sea Aura is online, but that's kind of dangerous territory. We saw Tsubaki-chan had the slower Golder, so Zuko doesn't have that bamboozle safety net to fall back on. We saw in those opening turns, Tsubaki's slower in terms of that Golder matchup, so he should be able to get that Toxic Ink onto this Nagaise here. So we'll take a look. Does retreat, out comes the Grumper on the side of Tsubaki, so getting ready to completely annihilate this Nagaise if it wants to stay in, but Zuko, knowing that that Toxic Ink was going to come out, Grumper comes in to replace him.
Chamomile as well. So a trade, again, this goes in favor of the side of Zuko, I would say. Toxic Ink trade, obviously no direct toxic damage, but again, take a look at both teams. Like, right now, Tsubaki can't repair the Grumper damage that's been done. You can't repair the Nagaise damage that's been done. And yes, you're regenerating in the back. They'll probably both hit full. But there's just a lack of damage coming out. And, well, I guess Zuko can't heal. I guess that's the plan, right? Is to just continually swap invulnerable tems with regeneration. Until eventually you will just outpace death by 1,000 cuts, if you will, but it seems too slow right now. I think it's going a bit too slow. I might be wrong, for sure, but just trade for trade, Zuko is getting a better hold of it.
Yeah, still feels a little too close to call. I think Tsubaki's still set up quite well with this Golder still being as healthy as he is. Wolfie in the back line, +2, +3. So yeah, even though it's turn number 9, there's still so much game. This is feeling like a turn 30 type of game, and there's no other way. I mean, here, last game of the quarterfinals, everyone else has advanced, or not advanced into the semis. This is the last battle between these two epic tamers here, and it happens to be a little mirror match as it currently stands, but Grumper swaps out for Wolfie, so Wolfie trying to pressure down the opposing Grumper. It looks like Grumper stayed in here, so let's see what's going down. But Cerny, man, such good plays. Such good plays.
Absolutely.
And making matters worse, I mean, this is obviously the win condition for Zuko here. So yeah, buffing it up, and Tsubaki always thinking 2-3 steps ahead. Even if Water Gun Lily could go off here, Bamboozle has to be taken care of first, and Grumper doesn't have any techniques to go before Cerny. Of course, it could have Frond Whip, that could be something. Grumper usually super slow though, so maybe not even with the Frond Whip, but a 1-prio technique is his best bet at trying to go second. But no, Grumper does retreat for now.
Mulder comes back out here. Again, just a battle of attrition. Shy Shield thrown out as well. Trying to get the Cerny set up to hold against Toxic Ink. Plague is actually thrown down here, so this is the first amount of damage that Mulder has taken inside of Zuko. And Toxic Ink is going to sting here a little bit on the Cerny.
Yeah, not too bad for being a settling Cerny. I think Zuko's doing a fantastic job at buffing up those defenses, already at +3, so 3/5 of the way there. And yeah, I mean, everything around here is physical. with the exception being Nagai's. That is a heavy hitting special attacker, especially after that madness buff. So Zuko does have to be careful. But Cerny is a good answer against his Nagai, so it works both ways. But yeah, this is a slow, steady grinder. Now no Dudichies or online, so now Cerny could try to attack into this Wolfie, but Wolfie got low before. Tsubaki went with the Lifeful Sap, and look at it now, back up to 98%. So yeah, super frustrating to play against, but it is what it is. Let's see if Zuko's able to take it down, or Tsubaki a bit too formidable for Zuko. Here it goes again. Let's see how much damage. I think it was like, oh, wait a minute, I forgot about all those buffs. Yeah, +2 defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredibly strong sort of setup here from Tsubaki, of course. But this is gonna be a war of attrition, and again, Tsubaki-chan is actually in favor of winning it, at least in terms of how much damage he can do in the long run. Because it certainly is right now at 60% HP. It probably can push here, but yeah, Tsubaki again with the Saku as well could do some solid work, but most likely will Lifeful Sap, Wind Burst at most. It's just it's very volatile, these HP bars on both sides, because I'm sure both tamers are also trying to figure out how to like one up each other in terms of HP on top of dealing damage. So playing once again on the Cerny side, exhausting it is so big. Revitalized though, gonna make sure that the HP is maintained at least for the time being. The Toxic Ink will definitely do at least 25% more damage. Toxic Ink trade does not favor Zuko this time, so slowly but surely he actually evens up the HP bars. Now take a look, they're both equal in standing. This Wolfie will eventually get there, and the Saku is pretty much there.
Yeah, we'll see. I think another set of attacks, if Tsubaki elects to leave in this Wolfie, another set of attacks. I mean, that was 1 or 2 settling procs already. Maybe after that second or that first Toxic Tick might bring the Wolfie down, but +2 defense we saw. I don't think a Warkan Lily would bring it that close, but close enough to make Tsubaki feel uncomfortable with it, so could be swapping out here. But you know, doesn't have a good swap out. It's kind of, these guys are swapping in and out, not doing too much damage here and there. And I mean, Tsubaki could swap out. He has 5 ticks of Lifeful Sap to earn in the back line. That'll bring you back up to 100%. But Cerny going for the good old bush, so trying to stay protected.
Yeah, bush protects him, but the Toxic Ink is still there. And this Cerny is not looking good. Toxic Ink trade. And again, the trade is not favorable. Toxic Ink ticks off. And now, Tsubaki-chan ahead in terms of, theoretically now ahead of how much healing he can do. This Golder, again, just ignoring the opposing Golder and just keeping at it. I would say, actually, that Zuko should consider really just tickling away at Tsubaki's Golder. Because right now, both Golders are equal HP. So if you like Humiliating Slap it, or something along those lines, just slowly chip away at it. It should be relatively okay. Literally, this is a game of one-upping each other at the moment, so
it's quite literally a mirror match. Take a look. We don't see that too often. 91.3, 91.3 on both of these Golders, funny enough.
Exactly.
But I'm not too sure, Blue. I feel like Golder being super low on stamina, not going to be doing too much, maybe even retreating this turn. But we'll see. I mean, we said it earlier in the game. This Golder, with Zuko having no wind temps, no feather gatlings, no tornadoes, is a huge threat, and we're seeing it right now. So steadily, just going a little after the Cerny. Those Toxic Ticks starting to add up, as we're seeing here. Revitalized though, if there's something Cerny does best, is bringing back that HP, and you know, 55%, a little, you know, getting back to it.
Right. Now, the other important thing that both players have to consider is that they have to avoid at all costs any of their Tems dying. If you lose a Tem,
very true.
Are going to rip your hair out. This is literally a battle of numbers. I'm sure they have a calculator adding up everybody's HP percentage, just saying, all right, I'm currently ahead by this much, XYZ, but that all goes out the window if you let a temp die. So this Grumper is probably leaving for sure. This Surnif might bush again, at least to save itself the trouble. But I really don't see this Grumper staying. If the Grumper drops to like 5% HP, it's never coming out ever again. But also it's a big detriment because then now you have to one-up it by dealing that much amount of damage to a Zuko temp. And although Tsubaki-chan has the Naga Issei, again, if it swaps in and it gets hit, it's over. At least for Tsubaki-chan's side. So both sides, again, playing for precision. But precision is a very, very tight rope. And spikes are right at the bottom. So there's not much to say about in terms of swapping in or out, really. Because, again, it's all about a battle of numbers here, and both players certainly know what's at stake if they take any amount of damage here.
Definitely, and you know, Grumper on death's door currently. One more Water Gun Lily will bring it down, so Grumper not perhaps trying to stay in, but you know, I was looking at the back line, but no, with the Shy Shield, so not going aggressive, thinking Grumper was going to swap. And Tsubaki getting some big value there. So Golder, we've been saying this whole time, buff up the Golder. How is Zuko taking him down? He's not. Long story short, he is not taking the Golder down. Maybe with enough turns, settling could perhaps do it. But you know what? Beautiful stuff. Risky play. Risky play for Tsubaki.
Risky play, absolutely.
Because Grumper, we said it, Water Gun Lily brought that Grumper down, but you know, the greedy play sometimes tends to be the really correct play, or you know, the better play, if you will. So well done. Really bold play for Tsubaki, and it does pay off right now, so well done.
Yeah, now Zuko is compromised in his position. Surnif has to bush to keep itself alive here. And the Golder will not do enough damage to kill off the Grumper. Another thing to point out is I'm sure Tsubaki-chan, what he was considering was that if Grumper does go down, he doubles up on the Grumper or whatnot, right? Zuko doubles up on the Grumper. He could swap in Naga Issei, Side Surge the Surnif spot, or at least swap it to Saku, at least you have both options available. And the Surnif has to stay into bush, unless it wants to die, of course. So, or be at 4% for the rest of the game. So, Tsubaki-chan probably had a backup plan, but yeah, risky play is risky.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, as you said, can't really go on offense here, but goes for the Revitalize to see how it works out for him. I feel like a Thunder Strike plus a Toxic Ink one more. Oh, never mind. Half damage, of course. So yeah, another Toxic Ink. It might be pretty close, but yeah, Zuko's Golder going first, so it was all thought out. Well done, and look at that, Tsubaki-chan's Golder, enough is enough. It finally did overexert. And it's very close. It's so close. I mean, this game is about as tight as any game could ever be.
Oh, Jesus.
So such good plays. I mean, everyone is on their toes. They can't make any mistakes. You can sense the tension here against these two players. Is literally everything's on the line here. You either drop out of the tournament right here, or you have a chance to keep trucking along. Semifinals, potential finals seat for their team. So yeah, a lot on the line. You know, some of the nerves could be playing up, but these guys are still playing very sharp. I'm not seeing any kind of I don't want to say misplays, but everyone's still really sharp. But here we go, Saku replacing that overexerted Golder, ready to eat. Oh wait, no, finally gets rid of the Grumper, of course. Nice job. So one temp down in blue. That is what you said. This might spell doom for Tsubaki if it goes to the end game and one team has one temp down, the other doesn't. Oh, Zuko might have pulled a bit ahead with that previous turn.
Now, the big thing here is that you can't really say that Tsubaki doesn't have a chance to come back into this, because Tsubaki-chan, when he loses an attempt like this, he's bringing out the big old shotgun. He has Saku and Naga Issei in the back. What he could potentially be looking at here is Naga Issei swap in, you wind burst Side Surge the Golder spot. Or something along those lines. Pressure the Golder slot, and then that amount of damage should convert. Or swapping in the Golder here, Tsubaki-chan now has to The reason why I say that he should swap in the Issei or at least something along those lines is because now that the Surnif is low, it's leaving, right? It's getting out of dodge, and another Golder Toxic Ink will throw your Saku into an incredibly compromised position. Tsubaki-chan, I'm sure he was willing to sack the Grumper at any time, but now that it's actually gone, I'm concerned for how he gets the Tem back.
Yeah, we gotta see what these tamers have in mind, but yeah, I don't think Surnif wants to stay in. I mean, Saku has a tornado online. You could go after the Surnif just to make sure. I mean, anything that swaps in except the Grumper is gonna be taking decent amount of damage. But maybe you want to start chipping away at this Golder, but just like you said, Blue, Zuko does retreat that settling Surnif, so the buffs do reset because he retreated it. But there goes the Grumper. So beautiful read, not going for the Grumper there, does go straight forward, goes into the Golder, and that's some big damage there, dropping him down to 40%.
Exactly.
Oh.
And the Bamboozle protects it as well. This is what I was talking about. Tsubaki-chan, he has a shotgun up his arm, and that is the Saku. The Saku will be able to equalize here if it's left uncontested. With the Golder here to set up, and the fact that Zuko's Golder is also compromised, this Saku is not going to take an electric Thunder Strike. It's going to get completely blocked, of course, by Bamboozle. And then you have to rely on the fact that your Toxic Ink trade with the Golder is sufficient. And actually, I do think Zuko would win that trade. There's no way the Golder can protect the Saku nor heal it. So if Zuko is confident that he can 1-for-1 trade with the Saku here, he should have the upper hand in that trade. But again, if you 1-for-1 and you lose your Golder, that means you have to use Calibus and Grumper to hold Naga Issei and Wolfie, which actually it's not that bad, but again, Tsubaki is still a full Tem down. He has to get this kill back somehow, and Zuko does not let him. Calibus will get swapped in immediately, so if the Saku does come into Windburst or otherwise, going straight to the Calibus, and look at that damage! Zuko is really trying to hold on to at least somewhat of his Tem. Stone Wall is thrown out.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that Windburst would have killed the Golder, so I think Saku was always safe. Windbursting into that slot, I think Saku would have always been okay, because at 40% on this Golder, if it did over 50% on this Calibus, I think it would have been enough, especially because oh no, he just got this from Stonewall. So yeah, I mean, and just in case he popped the Bamboozle, Tsubaki went for another Bamboozle, but it doesn't double up, so either way it cleared there.
Yeah, I mean, as far as my math goes, it does not seem like Windburst would have killed. I don't think it's 40% of its HP. Maybe
I can see it.
Is?
It might be close. He has a coat. He has a coat, so he probably would have lived, but it would have been really close. But you know, Saku used Windburst last turn, so this turn Tornado is online, so Calibus should not be living this whatsoever, and it does not.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out. Tsubaki-chan, he's more than willing to trade 1-for-1. He says, I need to get a Tem back, no problem, I'll get it back. And so now he gets to play his slow ball game again. With the Surnif now back on the field, Zuexo, he's very, very confident that he can get a bush off here. Obviously, Saku doesn't have anything faster, so it'll be just down to the speed numbers. And Tsubaki, now he's back in the ball game of numbers, right? It's all about the math. And right now, actually, he's ahead of the math. With the Golder being so low, now he's ahead because the Wolfie and the Golder are at a stable position. And now Zuko losing that Calibus. Again, I do think that Golder swap actually cost him a lot of his advantage there. He's literally lost the advantage and a little bit more, which is the problem. Because now the Saku is leaving.
Yeah, we'll see. What is he going to replace for? Maybe the Wolfie. Wolfie's doesn't seem too bad at +2 defense. Could probably eat a good attack. Golder could stay in, just get a good Toxic Ink as he's been doing this whole game. It is indeed the Wolfie. Let's see how much the Wolfie's going to do. But there it goes. Bush to protect himself from the Toxic Ink, and you get the Bush synergy as well from that Earth Temtem Thunder Strike to try to end the Saku, but Saku's no longer there. 1/4 damage onto Wolfie. Good play, good recognition for Tsubaki-chan.
Exactly. And now Zuko is in such a rough spot. The Golder is low. The Golder, your biggest tank alongside the Calibus, is now low. and that's what concerns me the most. It's because now this Golder is at 40% HP. It's not insane to think that Tsubaki can burst it down if he gets the opportunity. And his Wolfie has Lifeful Sap, and I'm pretty sure that's what Tsubaki-chan's about to do. Because what is he gonna do? Water Cutting Lily, Thunder Strike the Wolfie again? It's just not gonna do enough damage to pressure it that much. And if you double up the Golder, well, the Golder can Toxic Ink the Cerny spot, and Cerny has to leave. So Zuko is now in a chase position with less than 10 turns to do so. Lifeful Sap obviously thrown out, and Revitalize will come in, will go on the Cerny, but the Toxic Ink is gonna come out here, and it does way more than Revitalize. That's the thing.
That's
and
the
so,
thing.
Again, 7 turns. Yeah.
I was just saying that's the thing with the settling Cerny. Usually with every passing Toxic Ink, it does less and less damage, but even at +4 defense, still doing more than what you could heal up, especially with those Toxic Inks added into it. So you know what? I'm seeing the momentum slipping a bit away from Zuko. I mean, the HP, it's kind of close, but I think Tsubaki feeling a bit more comfortable with this Wolfie here. 6 ticks of Lifeful Sap remaining. Super healthy, super stamina healthy. You can't take care of the Cerny there, but does this trap it? This might be big here. Oh, it does not. Wait, what does the Wolfie have? Oh, double screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so no handcuffs there.
Yeah. Plague again, and the Cerny, if it dies, that's even worse, and it gets there. No, it's saved because of the exhaustion point for the Wolfie. The Cerny actually lives because of the Wolfie. So that is that's a clutch, but Zuko again still on the HP disadvantage. I'm doing the math right now actually for the sake of chat.
Yeah,
so Tsubaki's
Go ahead.
Yeah, doing quick math. No, I'm just doing quick math right now.
Okay. Yeah, so it cleared out the toxic tick, right? Is that what we're mentioning? So would have been brought down. So yeah, you know, if the Cerny goes down, Golder checks his Nagais, Wolfie checks his Grumper, and then it's kind of like Saku checking the Golder as well. So Tsubaki has the answers necessary. It's all about the playmaking ability for the remainder of the game. I mean, here it goes. So Plague it up. Cerny trying to revitalize to see if it's higher than the toxic tick here. Oh, of course, Zuko's Bamboozle is faster.
And it overexerts the Golder. That's big. That's a % down. So I just want to point this out. Cerny got 25% HP back. And Golder overexerted. How much did Revitalize give you? 25%, right? So previously, Zuko was 10% HP behind. Now he is I'll be resident math guy, don't worry guys. 212%. so Zuko's at 212% HP.
Okay.
Tsubaki is at 193.7%. And so it is
so in 5 turns, if everything stays the way it is, Zuko's actually winning this as it stands. So Tsubaki has to be careful. If he loses another Tem, that's Saku, which is dangerously low already. Alright, so trying to chip down at this HP. Here it goes. Okay, so Water Currently does fly out first. Where is it going? This is settling Cerny and not doing too much on the Wolfie. But I mean, the name of the game is chip down this HP. We're going to turn 30, guys. It's turn 25. So, I mean, it's turn 26 now. So the HP game, it is real. It is more than real. These guys are trying to survive.
53.8. So, 165% for Tsubaki. I'm doing the math for Mr. Zuko now. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, it's boiled down to the mathematics here, as again, Zuko unfortunately lost that advantage.
The quick maths. Quick maths.
He's currently at 203.2%, which means that, wow, Tsubaki is behind by over 45% HP. That is a lot of HP to be missing.
Yeah, 45% is a good chunk. But you know, let's do more of the map on that turn 29. There's still a couple games, and man, risky play, very risky play, bring out this Saku. But the Golder does get the Saku. Wait, that might have been the nail in the coffin.
That doesn't matter.
That is
Yeah,
two
the math
Tems
doesn't matter
though.
anymore.
Yeah,
Oh, that
math
is
goes
so
out the
brutal.
door. 2 Tems down. That was so risky.
Oh no. That is so big, Tsubaki. He is now hoping for Sizers to one-shot the Golder. And I'm not surprised if it did. The problem is
Yeah.
that Surnif can trade. But the big thing is that also Bamboozle can come out here for the side of
Exactly.
Tsubaki. There's no way front whip goes slow enough that the Naga Issei will not have Bamboozle on him. This is a problem. So Tsubaki's going for the 1-for-1 trade. He knows if Golder dies, actually, there's no way Zuko holds with a Grumper, especially with Fury still active. So Tsubaki is going in for the gamble here. The Staku was gambited, at least for this transition. So he has to all in here. If Naga Issei dies, it's pretty much over for the side of Tsubaki. He's no way to hold it aside from this.
So let's see. Most likely a Bamboozle is going to be coming out, but wait.
No.
I
The
thought
Bamboozle goes slower. Oh, not like this. Beta
What?
versus used. He didn't have size surge, and the Golder gets traded 1-for-1. But this trade is not favorable for Tsubaki because now he just has 2 tanky Temps to hold against a Grumper and another Naga Issei.
This entire
Oh.
match, I was under the impression that Tsubaki's Golder was slower, but it must have been a speed tie. It must have been a speed
must
tie
have been.
indeed the entire time. I just thought one of them was, rocking the one SV1, the other one wasn't. But yeah,
Oh, yeah,
crazy play. I don't even know if Tsubaki took that to account. I mean, obviously he probably did, being the pro he is. But wow, insane stuff. I think this is all said and done. Turn 28. Grumper's still looking good. Surnif, +5 defense, +3 special defense is looking a-okay. You know what?
plague
We
punish,
say
though.
it. Yeah, wait a minute. Things are still going down.
Revitalizing the stone wall. He's trying to hold the Grumper's position, and that is so smart. Even if you Toxic Ink the Surnif here, the Surnif will just bush itself to hold. So again, Zuko's plan of attack is hold this position.
Oh.
Hold it. He has to survive. He has to survive. He has one more turn. He has
Yeah,
to live
well, this one and
more
the
turn
next
after
one,
this.
right? This
Yes,
turn
yes,
and one
yeah.
turn, everything is
Holy
decided right
shit.
here. I mean,
If
it's
Grumper
tough.
dies,
Yeah,
oh my god.
it's tough. The Grumper has to be taken down, but I don't think a Plague and anything else does it. But two plagues might, and you don't want to
Right.
swap into Nagas because a Plague just might get rid of Naga Issei because of this strange vest. It has no special defense right now, and Wolfie
Yeah.
is indeed a special attacker, so it will go down. Plague, 2 Plagues actually does the job. This might be coming down to the
Tsubaki's
wire.
out of stamina.
Maybe HP again if Grumper goes down.
Thunderstrike thrown out on the side of the Golder. He's trying to make it to the Golder is a low HP so that perhaps you can do some damage with that. But now turn 30 and Zuko, I'm doing the math right now. 120. Okay, so luckily there's
Last
only 2
turn,
turns left.
Blue.
122.
So
No,
as it
if
stands, Zuko is
Yeah.
winning. However, does
Yes.
a Plague, I didn't get to see it, does a Plague do 43%? Because a Plague definitely kills the
Yeah.
Nagas in the back. But does the Plague do 43%? I should have been better at keeping a close eye on it. I think it's close. I
no.
know Inductor healed it a bit.
Yeah. The Grumper has to die. Tsubaki knows this. He's probably gonna go all in
Exactly.
to kill the Grumper. It is the only way. Because Zuko, if he loses the Grumper, he is gonna lose this match. This is literally it for Tsubaki to Dwarves. He has to kill Grumper. It does not die. It's a revitalize. It's a rejection from Wolfie as well. Revitalize will make sure the Grumper survives, and the Toxic Ink will, for sure, not be enough. Inductor's thrown down as well, securing that kill, and Tsubaki, he tries to crawl to the finish line, but Zuko leaps for it, and it's just not there. The
Yeah,
Toxic Ink
an
literally does
epic,
fuck all.
epic finals, or epic quarterfinals going all the way down, and that was so close. I mean, literally.
There we go. And Roller in the opening here for Rishi and for Laila. Is that how you pronounce it? Laila?
Yeah, Laila,
So-
I believe.
So Laila running that mix, Naga Issei as well, and Valash. So bit of Crystal Gang here, of course, with the I believe we have a double fire Koish here, so understandably so. But the man on the Naga is is there. And this is an interesting sort of opposing comp. No wind Tems on the side of Laila. So the Mashuk and the Nidrasil sort of okayish. Well, I guess the Raiken and the Koish is able to deal with them very nicely. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, most Pyro Koish or Fire Koish run Iridescence? Or is it Synergy? It was Synergy Master, right? They mostly run Synergy Master?
Yeah, I think because of the Quetzaleno, so adding that additional pressure. So yeah, I believe most are doing Synergy Master because of that. I mean, you're seeing it here, Laila with a lot of neutral temps, Skunch, Valash. On the other side, we got Valash and Rotor as the neutral targets there. So Mr. Rishi and Laila going with very similar strats, and it looks like they chose to start it off. So Valash and Fire Koish getting picked up for Mr. Rishi's corner. I mean, it kind of feels you could almost do the same thing. Skunch and fire as well. Doesn't seem too bad. Valash does not want to be going up against those. But maybe Laila wants to try to take down this the fish as well. Calibus doesn't feel too bad. I mean, Laila with some good ideas. We will see. We will see. I mean, I'm not too against. I mean, I guess the fire coils are super effective into themselves, right? Because I don't think water's resistance to water, so I think a water cannon still does double damage.
Yeah, exactly. So, absolutely monstrous. Laila, a top tier player, of course, has beaten the likes of Tutpup and Karth. Actually, funnily enough, now both on the same team. So. Impressive stuff here. That's why she's team A, or she or he. Regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to decide, here. But we'll check. We'll check.
We'll check up. We'll
ask down the line, but let's get back into it. So does decide to go with the Wolfie. So Wolfie obviously really good, that opening plague, and then you got that turn 2 does vortex onto Valash as well, super effective damage. So yeah, strong opening on both sides though. Both sides have a strong opening. It looks like it was the Calibus and the Nagais getting the ban on Laila's side. Let's see what Laila decides to ban. I mean, Mashuk feels good. What checks a lot of your Tems there. The Mashuk does pressure out the Wolfie, pressures out the Valash as well. So good ban, of course. And there goes the Fire Koich coming out for the side of Laila. This is gonna be epic, man. This is looking like an epic matchup for sure. Fireworks will be thrown out here. Nidrasil and Platimus on the side of Mr. Rigi, so adding a little toxic pressure to that team, and it's looking very well rounded.
Yeah. And don't be fooled, actually. The only type advantage on the opening here is for the side of the Skunch, right? The uppercuts and the against the crystal. But this Fire Koish is actually perfectly fine against
it cancels out. You're right. It's neutral damage.
It's exactly neutral damage there, as the typing is just in his favor. So it'll be interesting to see how this will go about. Of course, the Skunch. We'll see if the pressure comes out here for the Valash, or if the Valash will get a free Madness buff off. So we'll see. It is game number 1 over semifinals here in the Nidrasil Cup. Let's get it going, guys. Team Yup versus Tiki and the boys. We saw a little bit of it. It looks like Zuko did close it out in the quarterfinals. This is exactly why they're here in the semifinals. So let's get it going. So Valash, as you said, Blue, potential to Madness buff. However, a Skunch uppercut / P-jab, that's physical pressure, right? So it cuts through, it gets through that Madness buff. So it might be a bit risky, but I think it still might be worth. What do you think, Blue? If the trade, like I think what Rishi is considering here is that the trade is even valuable, right? Because it's not like the Koish is going to do insane amounts of damage. Maybe with the Quetzaleno it can punish the Skunch here, but if the Madness buff, Perfect Jab shouldn't kill the Valash. So I think go for it. The Valash will be at around 20%, 15% ish HP, but it all in all well, the Valash should be able to swap in for a scavenger buff down the line, if anything, right? Especially against the mix still available, again, though, like the Koish can still potentially be picked off later. I'm just not quite sure what the Valash. The Valash is not going to be one-shot carrying this game for sure, just because the Raiken is such a imposing figure. And Laila actually
retreats the Skunch, yeah.
Exactly. Doesn't decide to punish, and Plague comes out on the Koish, does neutral damage, but still packs quite the punch. So if the Valash does madness buff here,
and it
that's
traps, of course.
It goes, and the Sea Spikes actually goes in the mix, and so it's read perfectly. Master, exactly. Water Cannon gets completely nullified by Wolfie eating it, so the Koish is dead guaranteed. The mix is Puppet Master. Rishi just got read like a book.
Yeah, well done. I mean, Laila knew Skunch was in. I mean, you could have done some good damage on Skunch, but the opening turn, not the most damage, of course. Just P-Jab, uppercut available to him. But yeah, a water cannon with Crystal Spike would have brought the Skunch down definitely under 50%. So really well done. You got the Mix under 50%, but Mix loves to be under 40%. You got Puppet Master online. I don't believe there's any AoE techniques right now unless Koish learns Tsunami, which I've never seen yet. But I don't think he has it available to him. And Valash definitely, I mean, neutral Stampede, I don't think he learns that. So I think he's looking good. Mix is looking alright. A Crystal Spike plus a Plague does take care of this Koish that cannot swap out. Well, the question here though, you go after the Koish, the dancing Koish, look at that, the little dancing Koish, but you leave the Valash uncontested. Of course, as we said in the opening picks and bans, Does Vortex is now online. That is double damage into Valash. So I mean, a couple lines of play I could see from Laila's side. I think Valash does not want to be in though, since he can't gun down the Mix, and Valash doesn't do anything to the Wolfie, so we could be seeing a potential swap. But no, it stays in.
Yeah, very stubborn here. Probably assumed the Koish should get doubled up here, which is what I thought as well. Probably EM into Plague, but Quetzaleno thrown down. One shots the Wolfie. Get out of here. Koish is not messing around. Overexert as well, but the EM will trade. So 1 for 1 goes the favor of Rishi, I would say. Losing the Wolfie is big.
Yeah, very calculated. We're like, wait a minute, why did he just Crystal Spike? It's because it was calculated. Crystal Spike plus the Synergy Master Quetzaleno, enough to bring the Wolfie all the way down. Beautiful stuff for Mr. Rishi. Good classic 1 for 1 trade. So 1 Tem down for Mr. Rishi, 1 Tem down for Laila. It's already heating up in here. Let's see what the potential Temps could be. Alright, so Skunch coming back out as he was in the first turn. Nothing online as it did swap out in the opener, and Platimus will be the other one. So Platimus does have access to Tsunami, but that's not online. That's not online currently, so he has to be careful for the next turns. But nothing too crazy right here, right now. But Valash running out of stamina, but he is full HP, so can still do a lot of work down the line.
Yeah. This is The Lash gets swapped out here for Rishi though. Nidrasil will be coming out, and again, the Wolfie loss means that you don't have a surefire way to do a lot of bursts on the Platypus. I say that, but Crystal Spikes makes sure that the trade is still favorable. Perfect jab as well, the Nidrasil. So just softening up both of them. But the big thing is that Tsunami is a potential threat here on the side of the Platypus. He does have access to that, can learn that. But now Savage Suplex into Spikes should probably kill something here.
Yeah, man, this turn 1 Puppet Master mix paying off so much dividends, just back to back, just chilling back. But now you can't really chill much longer. As we stated, Platypus does have access to the Tsunami technique. That could be getting the better mix, but good old Nidrasil, pretty much the king of some AoE techniques. Allergic Spread is online as it came in on the swap. Allergic Spread will tick it down a bit, but those additional 3 ticks of Toxic will bring it in. There's no way to recover. There's no way to recover HP rather. So if the allergic spread connects onto the mix, it will be brought down just from the toxic ticks alone. So I know that's something Laila is thinking about right now. What temp could potentially eat this toxic ink? You got Koij, you got Riken, but Riken into a Platymus, that is a no-go. So I guess Koij is looking like the best option. Unless of course you sacrifice the mix here. Is Koij more important than the mix? I mean, Koij does some good damage into Rolder with some water cannons, Quetzaleno into Valash, Quetzaleno into Nidrasil, so I do think Koij is more impactful than the mix. So maybe you let it go. Maybe you let it go, get a final C spike. It doesn't seem too bad here.
That's assuming Tsunami does kill, perhaps. It shouldn't. I don't think it should. Or
yeah, I don't know. I don't think it kills. Or you know, the bigger question is Mr. Rishi even running Tsunami? Tsunami's quite spicy, but the cage, I think that's beautiful though. I think he's thinking 1-2 turns ahead. He wants the mix to die here. He's hoping the mix die here. I think Laila needs the mix to die here.
Absolutely. I think the plan is to trade tit for tat here, but the problem is that Sanchi is for sure dead here.
Yeah,
kills off the Scotch.
Maybe a double kill, potentially a double kill on the side of Mr. Rishi, but no, Mix survives one more turn, one more crystal spike.
Yeah, the reason why I didn't think Scud should die is Rolder's still alive. Rolder versus the Koish is obviously still rough, as you mentioned, but Riken now Riken is probably gonna have a bad time. At least against the Rolders. So Platymus has to die here for sure. EM, Crystal Spikes. The mix has to go fast enough to kill the Platymus off before it gets a chance to deal damage to the Riken. Otherwise, he's gonna have some problems. Quetzaleno probably gonna be used as well, expended here. At least probably on the Rolder. Nidrasil swap out seems the most likely option here. I'm not sure. Again, I'm still not sure what the cage was meant to do. Trade for 1 for 1.
Yeah, I think he was trying to read a potential swap from either of the Tems, but ended up, you know, Mr. Rishi reading that, just going pedal to the metal aggression for days. And there we go, Crystal Spike does clean up the Platymus before any... Ooh!
Wow, I mean, the Riken, I was going to say, Riken is cleaning up the Nidrasil for sure.
Why wasn't there a ticket Embers there? Or was that Leno? I think that was Leno, right? That wasn't Embers.
That was Quetzaleno.
Yeah, of course. It doesn't add any Embers. But still, massive damage, 1.5, scary place to be if you're Mr. Rishi. But you know, this is still an epic match. I mean, Roder, I believe the last Temtem, oh no. So Roder and Valash, okay, well good read. Laila has a water temp to deal with the Golder, or sorry, yeah, the Roder.
And the problem, the problem I'm seeing is that Nidrasil gets a Toxic 8 off faster than Riken. Koish Water Cannon will not kill Roller in one hit, which means Riken is instantly dead.
Exactly.
And if this Koish is at 50% HP, you can just throw out Ninja Jutsus, well, Rend, not Rend, but Major Slash, as we've mostly seen in the new Valash nowadays, is that Valash is now running more neutral attacks with just C-Spice and Madness buff as the double kit. So, this is not looking good.
Yeah, well, if he does exactly what you're saying, Blue, the Roder, if Riken stays in, which of course there's no other attempt to retreat back to, this Roder, it won't go down. A Stone Ball alone will take care of this Riken. So let's see the damage. Water Cannon does connect, not even 50%. Toxic Ink, okay. Riken might be able to get off, and it does. Okay, I mean, a Stone Ball, of course, one prio, but so is Meteor Storm. So I was thinking maybe Roder goes first, but it looks like he does get it, and he gets some prideful buff, but I don't think he's living this. Go Roder for the win. Oh,
absolutely. Actually, there's a chance if the Valash doesn't kill it with a render Ninja Jutsu.
No, there's not a chance, Blue. This is GG, or not Blue, sorry, Blue. Crystal Spike alone. Crystal Spike alone will take care of the Koish, and there we're gonna see it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. I thought it'll die there, but you can't kill two Tems.
Now it's guaranteed. Yeah, unfortunately, again, that cage from the mix was perhaps a bit of a lost tempo.
God, I believe. GodII.
Oh, it's double L. It's double L.
Or L. Okay, so it's double L. Apologies.
All right, so running the electric Koish this time. Obviously, fair enough. Whoa! I was so excited to seeing this sometime. It's the nature Koish. Let's go.
Yeah, and with Babawa too. So Tutpup, if you take a little bit of what he's working with, he has a lot of synergy here. So potentially Synergy Master Koish, Synergy Master Adoraboros, and then just a lot of synergies as you see. Water Can Lily for days. You got some Water Can synergy as well with Adoraboros and Voldaren. So yeah, I love the team building, but let's take a look at God's team. Oh, and God just going with what he knows, just a lot of aggression. Look at those heavy hitters.
Yeah, and the big thing I wanted to point out is that because God had no toxic Tems whatsoever, literally the nature Koish Bubble would be indestructible.
Yeah.
It's its only weakness. It's the only weakness.
Alright, so does elect to go with Raiken. Not too bad. Good neutral damage into Babawa. I don't believe Babawa has an opening water technique, so it's fine for right now. But second turn, I do believe Ice Stalactite goes online, so it has to be a little wary of that. But Volvi does get picked up, and Volvi not too bad against the Tukai, but doesn't feel all that great into the remainder of the team. I wonder if there's a better pickup there, because you know Volvi, as we said, good against Tukai. But man, against Cerny, Voldaren, Adoraboros, Kinu, it feels a bit lackluster. I wonder if there's a potential better play. I mean, that's a lot of neutrals, and there was 3 mentals, so I can agree with God of Despair as well, not going with some of these neutrals. But maybe Gialis. Maybe he was scared of a Cernif. If he goes Gialis, I could see that. Right, but he has Raiken for the Cernif. Okay. So we'll see. I mean, super strong start for Tutpup. That is a really strong start. We got to see how much damage this Raiken is going to be outputting in that opening turn to see how it's going to go. But yeah, looking strong so far for Tutpup. But hey, God of the Spirit, no slouch as well. We'll see what he ends up recruiting.
Yeah. The big thing for God of Despair is that because his team is so hyper aggro, this Cernif is probably going to go down or never going to go down ever. And I don't really think there'll ever be an in-between. The big thing here is that Aqua Stone, I believe, should be able to do a lot of damage on the Raiken. For the most part, the Cernif pickup I think was just to secure the Cernif. If anything, most likely that's what Tutpup is considering, picking up a Tukai and swapping out the Cernif for the Tukai. But of course, there's still a Wolfie, so the playing might be an issue. Yeah, let's pick up. If he picks up Yowler and Seismunch, I think you get the same problem as if you had Seismunch and a Nugget. You say you just kind of have too many breadwinners, I think, but I could be wrong here. Scunch is definitely a pickup choice here, so it might be the last pick. Obviously, Seismunch Rock Bottom won't be doing a lot against Nature Water Squad, so we'll probably have to avoid that.
Yeah, and a bit of an unfortunate circumstance for Guy. Just on paper, of course, it doesn't dictate the game, but you know, he has a lot of neutrals as we stated, and it just so happens that Tutpup, not a lot of people run 3 mentals, but Tutpup is running 3 mentals on his team, so it does counter him a bit on paper, but it's just how it goes sometimes. These squads are locked, so it's not like Tutpup purposely put in these mentals for God here. It's just how it ended up playing out. So it does recruit the Kinu. Kinu fairly okay against Yowler. Obviously not the biggest mental special attacker, but Barnchi is. Barnchi is indeed. So 2 guys trying to take down this Yowler. And you know, 2 Temtems in the back that also take double damage from these. And Water Can Lily is actually, wait a minute, Seismunch doesn't feel too good. I think you... Oh, this is a lose-lose right here. I mean, 4x damage from mental, or you have to deal with double damage from 4. Actually, wait, every single Tem does double damage into the Seismunch. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you either bite the bullet with Scunch, in which literally 2 out of the 5 Tems could insta give you, or you bite the bullet with Seismunch, where everything does double damage at all times. So, unfortunately, not the best choice there, especially for the fact that Yowler is also probably pretty much out of commission here. So right now, this opening for God of Despair, it has to be a big one.
Exactly right. So yeah, game number 2 of our semifinals on this side of the bracket. God of Despair going against Tutpup here. God, with Mr. Rishi winning the previous game, is at game point. 1 game up. 2 puts it in the bag. They go over to the finals. So Tutpup fighting for the last hope here for Team Yep. We saw a lot of Yeps in the chat. So Tutpup, a lot on the line. So staying focused up, not trying to lose just that easy. Maybe we get into a game 3 and we see the legendary Carve coming out and showing us how it's done. But here it is, Plague to get things started, about 30% or a little bit over 30% there on the Babawa.
Yeah, handcuffs as well, shuts down the Babawa's retreats position. But Watercolor Lily does get thrown out here. We'll see how much damage that does. Goes into the Wolfie spot and already 50% damage. WCL as well, followed up by the Babawa. This might kill the Wolfie. Hold on, boys. No, it does not. Wolfie survives, if not barely. Quetzaleno thrown down. The Babawa, if anything, now gets traded.
Yeah, something to note. I believe, oh man, my memory's fading a bit. It did 40%, right? Or was it over? It was just 30, right? Was it 40 or 30 the first Plague? Because obviously Plague was the first to go. If it did over 34%, obviously Babawa goes down here. If it doesn't, both of these Watercolor Lilies will be outspeeding Riken here. It took it, oh, I forget what it was. It actually, wait, it was a little bit under 70, so it was like 31%. If I remember correctly, it was like 31% from the Plague.
It did 32.8%.
Yeah, exactly. So just shy, so close. But you know, close does not guarantee it, so there's no RG. You can't hope for a little bit of a crit. The damage done is the damage done. This is not Pokemon. So yeah, you can't, you gotta go with what you know. And the Plague, we know it does not kill. At least I think they know. They should if they seen the play.
I mean, the bottom line is that Wolfie should not. The certainty of WCL went, I believe went second. So this should kill the Wolfie if it does stay in, which it doesn't. Yeller comes in instead here for the side.
Ooh, there we go.
Quetzaleno will one-shot the Babawa though, for sure.
Yeah, and huge swing right there. Not only do you get the kill on the Babawa, you get an even better value. You get the prideful proc. Beautiful stuff. So increase in speed, attack, and special attack. And look at that blue. Look who's wearing the sweatband. It looks like Daddy Riken. Riken, the king of the jungle, rocking the sweatband. He's gonna be doing pretty good. I mean, everything except the Tukai. He's gonna be huge or make some big impact. Certainly doesn't want to take too many of those. Kinu can't even take 2 of those. And you know, Barnchy doesn't really like a lot of physical pressure regardless. So he's looking good. On paper, we saw it. It looked like Tutpup had the edge. But so far, a little that momentum, that kill right there on the Babawa with specifically the Riken to get the prideful buff on. Definitely a good tempo swing going into turn 2. Let's see how Tutpup wants to answer. You almost want to bring out Tukai, Water Temtem to take out Riken, but Tukai only access to Wind Burst for that opening turn or the first turn that he's on the board. So not going to be a lot of pressure. Oh, this is a tough spot for Tutpup. What does he want to bring out? And does elect. Okay, does go with the Tukai. So let's see how much impact it does.
Yeah, so the the Tukai, of course, can provide that water damage. Unfortunately, only in the form of Tsunami. So this Riken is still relatively unscathed. You could try to kill a Yowler, but it's not like when you're running a tank alongside something else and you just kill everything around the tank. This Riken is its own predator, so it's not like you can just ignore it and then be fine with it. It's going to get trades off at the bare minimum. And every time it gets a trade, it just gets stronger. So this is a struggle to sort of deal with.
So yeah, Cerniv knowing Aleno most likely heading its way, swapping to Kinu, but it's still going to be effective damage onto it. Let's see what God wanted to do here. Quetzaleno with the synergy. Almost one-shot the Kinu, 97%. But there it goes, putting that little bit extra power in there. That could have been almost, actually wait, no, Savage Suplex would have done half damage, but still well done. And man, this match definitely went fast. Turn 4, 2 Tems down for Tutpup. I don't know if this spell is doomed, but it's definitely feeling that the spiraling ball, the snowball rolling down that snow mountain, getting bigger and bigger with every turn passing here. Oh, I'm seeing it. I don't know if Tutpup has enough in the tank right now to stop that rolling snowball, but we'll see. Or rather, fireball, because that's that's the one getting out of hand here.
The Yowlar is rolling a fireball down the
exactly. There we go. Perfect.
And basically at this point, this Riken is just gonna get getting a lot of its damage out. The big thing is that now the neutrals are the mentals aren't safe, which was meant to deal with the Riken, or to deal with the 3 Tems on the side of God of Despair. But the problem is that Babawa just lost its life too fast. 2K was not set up in a position to tsunami the Riken either, so now another pummeling, another Quetzaleno should deal with the Barchi here. That's exactly what I mean. It just completely obliterates it, and the Riken is more than happy to do so. The Bamboozle applied to the 2Kai. Hoshi, wrong target, wrong time. Tsunami gonna try and deal with the Riken here, and it doesn't. And that's so big, because the Riken just leave. Oshidashi secures the kill on the Barchi. Now, with no mental Tems, Tutpup is down to scraps.
Yeah, incredible stuff. I mean, we knew God Despair loves his aggression, and that is exactly what he's been displaying here, right here in this in game number 2 of the semifinals. Just back-to-back kills. I mean, look at Tutpup, everything's going down, find himself with the last 2 Tems. I mean, these are some really good Tems. Cernif with the sweatband, 2Kai with 1 Kinu buff, still at 100 HP. But as you just said, Blue, no more mental Tems, and whenever you see a Skunch and a Yowler with no more mental Tems, that is a scary sight. One of the scariest sight you can see. I mean, add a move flank there, and then you're petrified, because that sight alone could run away with a lot of games. And I think that's what God recognized, so that he was kind of letting go of the Riken there. He said, you know, I got Skunch in the back line. This Fight Fox will be the winning piece for me. So I think God has this one, but we've seen Cernif do crazy things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think God of the Spirit thought that the Riken would last this long. I think Riken was meant to trade for Babawa or trade for a Cernif, and the fact that it's just ran away with this game means that his initial plan is completely unscathed, and he can unleash it at any point, which is the problem here. Now, Tutpup down to the last 2 Tems will try and do as much damage as possible. Alice will take that. Actually takes quite a beating. Sharp Rain thrown down as well. Will do a lot of damage on the Gals, but doesn't kill. That's the big thing. Show off applied as well. The Yowlar, she's getting bolstered in strength here.
Yeah,
really wants
huge.
to secure the bag.
Yeah, he looked pretty big there, but just a +1 attack, so not as ideal as, of course, Heat Up, but doesn't have access to Heat Up, so you do what you can do. 50% increase on Yowler's attack, so we'll be slapping just that much more. Wherever it's going should be taking at least 30, 40, 50% at most, or even a little bit more on the 2Kai, depending on where the Cernif slays. But it doesn't have any defense on the Cernif, so I think everything takes over 50% for sure from this Yowler. So we'll see. I mean, Tutpup didn't make it easy whatsoever. I mean, all the HPs on God's team are super low. It's almost essentially this Skunch versus 2 healthy Tems. I mean, I think there might be a way here. There might be a way. I mean, Tutpup has the speed advantage. I mean, Gyals could sharp stab, but that's not gonna kill. As we just see there, a little over 25%. So you know, Tutpup has the speed. He has Water Cut Lily. He has Tornado. Oh, is this Tsunami about to get a double kill? This is gonna be epic.
Oh, double kill. The stamina consumption. Actually,
wait. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
2Kai, sure, the 2Kai and Cernif might overexert for this, but now we can actually trade 2 for 2.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
a devastating turn for God there. I don't think he thought one tem was going down, but I don't think he thought both tems were going down. But look at that, never counting out Tutpup, still swinging, not
oh
going
God.
out. You know, he was a bit battered and bruised, but you know, it does not matter how much punch you take in, it's who delivers that final punch. It might very well be Tutpup here. Wolfie getting low, but as we keep saying, the speed advantage is favoring Tutpup. Watercut Lily should be getting the better of Wolfie. Oh, we'll see how much the Skunch can do, of course. Chamomile is online or just turned on. So we'll see. I mean, for turn 1, nothing too crazy, but for that following turn, Savage Suplex looking pretty juicy. We'll see. This is getting really close here.
Tukai has to rest here, and that's the big thing. Is if Tukai takes too much damage, then it swings the other way again, because Raikin will be faster than Surnif, and Surnif will probably not live to see the day. So right now, the big question is, can Tutpup close out against this Wolfie, or is this going to be the end for his grand run? He got a double kill.
Yeah, it was looking so good, as we said. I mean, you know what? Maybe Tutpup found the answer, kind of rolled that snowball off the cliff. But we'll see still soon. I mean, we can't count out a Skunch at 100 HP. I mean, he could definitely do a lot. Surnif hasn't started adding up anything, so that's a crazy physical pressure coming out here in the next couple turns. And Blue, dude, I just looked at the turn. Can you believe it's only turn 7? So much action.
Yeah.
So much action has gone down.
Exactly. I mean, definitely a contrast to the Tsubaki-chan game. Tornado used by Tukai actually all in to do so much damage onto the Skunch. Very reasonable. He predicted that the Plague would go faster, so really just went all in to ensure that the Surnif would have the highest chance of success here. Let's see if it's a Callosity, and in fact it is. So Perfect Jab does absolutely nothing there to hold it. Front whip, swapping, dead. Oh my god, but the Surnif is overexerted. Oh no, it hasn't. Oh my god, it hasn't. Oh my god. Surnif didn't overexert. Oh my god.
Dude, this is insane. If Surnif overexerts to kill the Raikin, it is 100% worth. You need to kill the Raikin. There is nothing Wolfie can do to kill you. It will be GG.
Wolfie does no damage.
Yeah,
oh my god.
You have to kill the Raikin right here, right now. Let's check it out. Tutpup for the win.
Yes, it goes first.
Water Culling Lily, where?
Yes.
And
no
it does!
Way.
Wow!
The overexertion is not enough damage! Wolfie has no way to stop this Surnif!
Yeah, GG. Tutpup looking like he was out of the match, but looking incredible. DV maybe. Oh no! Wait a minute though, Blue. Plague goes first. No. Plague goes first.
Yeah, but does Plague do enough damage? That is the question.
I think it does. 6%.
It does! It was so close! Tutpup was so close!
Oh my goodness, what a
damage!
Yeah, what a valiant effort. Beautiful stuff.
Nearly inches as well. And right at the end, Tutpup went from 2 versus 5 to 1v1 at 6% HP. Absolutely ridiculous. I'd have to grab some water after that. Jeez.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Blue. Let me just go ahead. I'm inputting the names again so that we don't get any confusion. Dibz on Momo. Let me put him on the left side. And guys, give me 1 second. We'll be back to the commentary. Let me just get the overlay set up. Just a hot minute. And Wermes, right? W-E. Yeah, Wermes on the other side. So Arja Saucelys, Dibz on Momo is at game point. Game number 2 of the semifinals match. One more win and they will take it. So Faiman, a lot to play for here. The chance to go to the finals. That's what's on the line here in the semifinals matchup. We'll see if he gets it done. Let's take a look. We didn't get to see the scoreboard. It's turn 8. Turn 8. It looks like all the tems were still intact. Let's see though. Alright, so a little
Alright.
clench onto the Barnchi, bringing them down under 50%. But okay, so one temp down a piece. I haven't been able to see the scoreboard here. So yeah, one temp down. Kinu down for Arkham. Saku, that's big. That's big. Put half of the puzzle there in Team Salad, or 1/3 rather, has been taken down. But of course, Kinu also a big value temp to take down. So good all around. In terms of setup though, Arkham looks a bit more set up. Yowler at +1 with 1 show off and then 1 protector buff to his name, not too shabby. And Volorin +3 defense. Oh, you know, that must have been a stone wall. A stone wall plus a 8. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, 1 Kinu buff plus a stone wall. It looks like that was what the Volorin got. So let's get back to the game. So Cernif looking good against his Yowler. A double up from the side of Faiman will bring the Yowler down. So Arkham has to be careful about it. Maybe swap it into Wolfie most likely. Doesn't seem too bad. But the pressure on the next turn doesn't seem all that great.
Yeah, with the Barnchi and Cernif on the field here, Yowler's probably have time to head out. And the Volorin is actually set up quite nicely. Defense 3, those are defense 2. But Intimidation is actually applied. The Yowler stays in.
Oh, and Blue, we have our answer. Oh,
yeah, handcuffs. Intimidation locks in both Temtem, and that's how you use handcuffs, ladies and gentlemen. Savage Suplex is applied, but neutrality means that Barnchi is perfectly fine there. Doesn't take exhaustion, nor does it take the toxic ticks, as it's immune to that. And I mean, Faiman, I mean, that's one of the best uses of intimidations I've ever seen.
Yeah, so nice stuff. You know exactly what you just said, Blue. I think that was the first time I've ever witnessed a double handcuff. So essentially a cage, but your Tems are scotch-free and the other Tems have to stay put for that turn and the next 2. So really incredible stuff. And Blue, we were wondering, is there not any win techniques? I don't think there is. I think Intimidation was one of those, and really great synergy with the handcuffs. So I love that theory crafting for Faiman. But we'll see. I mean, Barnchi getting dangerously low, so it could be a 3v4 situation. Yowler still intact, but maybe not for much longer. Everything is cage. You have to take this damage.
WCL thrown out, that does very little damage again. Just incredibly resistant. Barnchi is going to trade for the Yowler here for sure. And it is in fact going to be a 3v3 situation with a wind burst, securing that kill onto the Barnchi.
Exactly right. So 1 for 1, as you said. So hey, you know, they're evening it up ever so slightly. 3-3, essentially about the same HP. Let's see if there's any clear advantage. So Cernif, no direct answers. Maybe a Saku Tornado, HKS from the Volorin, Feather Gatling perhaps, but it looks like a Colossity Cernif, so maybe not the most ideal against that matchup. But you know, I think Arkham with the Volorin makes all the difference. Wolfie alone doesn't do anything into these matches. +2 special defense. Volorin's laughing at what Wolfie can do right now. Same with Saku, same for Wolfie. Or you know, it's just neutral, works both ways. Mashuk on the other hand does some good work. Against Wolfie with those P-jabs and uppercuts. Saku could get taken down little by little with the same kind of strat. But you know, Arkham has the answer to that Mashuk with the Volorin and the Saku here. So just on paper with the last remaining Tems, it looks like Arkham has the edge just based off the Tem typings. But we'll see. We've seen crazier stuff go down in previous tournaments. So let's just see how it's going to roll out.
Yeah, and I think the bigger thing to point out is that the Volorin +3/+2 means that the Mashuk still has the perfect jab at up to 3 times just to get it back to normal levels to do solid damage. On top of that, Faiman doesn't do straight damage to the Volorin other than the Mashuk, so just really unfortunate there. And as you mentioned, it's all about the typing here. Life will stab applied, and right now I think Faiman is playing for, I'm really not sure what he's playing for. Well, like, I'm trying to figure out like what is the win condition here, but the Saku just applying slow pressure, the Volorin throwing out noxious bombs. I mean, enough noxious bombs and eventually they will add up and get a kill. So the Saku doesn't even have to expend too much, except for the toxic spores.
Yeah, and I mean, no Tem right now really does that much. I mean, Urusho's without any toxic synergy might be the best way to get it done. But there it goes, Volarin, an aerobic Feather Gatling, increasing it, and that might bite him a bit. He was kind of set up in terms of special defense, but going back down. But I think it's going to be worth. He could most likely one-shot a Mashuk with enough speed on that Volarin. And there goes the wind burst onto the Wolfie, bringing it down ever so slightly. So just a war of attrition here, little by little. Arkham's Tems should be carrying him to success. And it might be as game point, right? So I think I don't want to call it too soon. I don't want to count anyone out. Maybe I won't say it yet. I was gonna say Dibz on Momo versus Tiki and the boys, perhaps in the finals. That's kind of what it's leaning towards currently. But let's see. Faiman, of course, not gonna give out till the bitter end. It's just tough. It's tough when both of these Tems, like your heaviest hitting techniques, they're barely going to be doing 10-15% on both of these guys. And to make matters worse, Saku has things like Lifeful Sap, so could just recover that up.
Exactly. If your maximum damage output is 15%, you are going to do 5% damage for the next 7 turns. And even with your stamina, it's just not gonna be enough. Wolfie gonna get swapped out here for Faiman again. Shuk will come in instead to hold us out. So I think the plan now is to slowly diminish the Volarin's defenses here with perfect jabs and otherwise, but now the Volarin and the Saku switch gears and they just pummel the Mashuk with wind typing. Of course, this is very smart play from Faiman. He swapped in when both wind Tems are about to run out of stamina, so they can't really punish him immediately. So get at least one perfect jab off, but that's as much as you can do without compromising the Mashuk here too much, at least.
Yeah, exactly right. And now Mashuk feeling ever so in danger. Of course, Volarin only at 18% stamina, so can't go too ham on this Mashuk. But a +1 HKS, actually, no. It won't be worth right now. I feel like the overexertion might bite you a bit more. So we'll see. I mean, he has a hand fan, so you could do good damage on Mashuk. But I would dare say at like +3 speed, you could bring this Mashuk all the way down. So maybe you just get a good old rest for now. We'll see. He is at +3 defense. Even in Mashuk P-jabs, it should be alright. But hey, forget the P-jab. Bring those Feather Gatlings down to size. So Tenderness does get deployed onto the Volarin. And not too bad, but HKS is still a thing. We're talking about an aerobic Volarin. And yeah, Blue, big damage from that wind burst.
I mean, Arkham just proved that his Saku can two-shot this Mashuk. It did 51.6% damage. So Faiman got his one tenderness off, and now he has to leave. And that is the harsh reality of this. If he eats another wind burst, the Mashuk is just dead. And you can't really use a dead man, right? Like, that's the big problem right now, is that, like, how does Faiman get around this problem? This Volarin and Saku is still such a major problem.
And
yes, Volarin is aerobic. Oh, Hyperkinetic Strike will be used. Mashuk will for sure get shut down here. And special defense goes null on the side of the Volarin. But it's still not going to be enough. Overexertion is applied. But now Wolfie swapping is perfectly legitimate. Fun Whip is going to do as much damage as possible. But again, 3 defense. Making sure that it does very, very little damage.
Exactly right. So as we said, these wind Tems making all the difference. We saw it on paper. These wind Tems was going to win, or was what's going to take Arkham Knight to perhaps the finals. Dibz on Momo heading towards the finals against Tiki and the boys. They're both on fire. So these are going to be some epic matches here for the best of 5. But yeah, it's looking tough. Faiman with the final 2 Tems, but you know what, Blue? These 2 Tems are the 2 Tems. If there's ever a comeback, these two with that nature synergy, with the bush synergy, a lot of good stuff could go down. So just preserving the Volarin health as much as possible for now. But here it is, Cerny doing Cerny things with the nature synergy. Man, the health just went back so fast.
Yeah, Toxic Spores trying to compensate down for size. I believe it does. Actually, Revitalize does, with synergy bonus, it heals for 35%, and Toxic Spores is 37.5%, which means that Cerny still takes damage here. It basically just nullifies what a Revitalize has done, but still, as you mentioned, Revitalize is ridiculous here for the side of Faiman. But the trade 1-for-1, as we're seeing here, both Wolfies just trading blow for blow. And the big thing is the fact that the cage still removes, the handcuff still removes the regeneration as well. Bush applied, special defense is raised.
And that's pretty big. That's pretty big with the last Tems from Arkham being all special attackers, those wind bursts, those hyperkinetics. You want to start to stack up that special defense on the Cerny, so that's pretty impactful, of course. Yeah, like we said, if there's any two Tems to do it, could be these two Tems, but you're trying to drag it out because you alone won't be taking down this Saku. Maybe the Volrin as it starts to go down in special defense, but definitely not the Saku. We'll see, we'll see. I mean, it's that +4 special defense. Is there a way for Faiman to drag this out just a little bit more, clean up Wolfie, clean up Volrin, have it be a 1v1? I mean, cleaning up Volrin's easier said than done. This Volrin's going to be not going down without a fight. He's going to be chunking this Cerny. Or maybe not chunking it, minus special defense +4, but it's gonna do a good amount before going out. So we'll see. Arkham thinking about his line of play very carefully. Decides to go with the plague, of course. Oh, the tick is enough. You think it's a bush here?
No, but the cage removes it. Or trapping it removes it. Yeah, plague is traded 1-for-1 here, so I think the idea is Cerny gets this kill over exertion, picks off the opposing Wolfie. Front whip is expended to kill off the Wolfie. I think that was a bit too much, but regardless, I do think Faiman understands this is such a rough uphill battle. Over exertion happens on the Saku, but the Cerny can't really attack the Volrin anymore. Not now anyway, with just a lack of stamina.
So the final two Tems, Volrin does have Noxious Bomb. Of course, his attack is 33% less than it would otherwise, and Cerny slowly but surely will be increasing with every single physical attack. So it might be close, but with Saku still alive, with Volrin still with the HKS, it looks pretty certain. As we said a couple turns ago, Arkham looked like he had it, but I respect Faiman very much for doing what he's doing, just not giving out to the bitter end. It's looking rough here at this situation, but still always trying to find a way. Is there a way? It's tough to say, but I just don't see it. I don't see a line of play, but I mean, we'll see. These guys are the ones playing. We're just spectators.
Yeah, Noxious Bomb thrown down. Of course, as mentioned, Callosity will eventually make Noxious Bombs do very little damage, but Revitalize will not outpace Toxic Spores. It just won't. Wind Burst does a little bit, but again, Saku can just throw down Toxic Spores. You're forced to bush to get rid of it. That's a lot of stamina, not used to WCL, and theoretically, with infinite amount of turns, you could probably kill off the Volrin, but there's no way that Cerny gets both these kills. There's too much to be expended here.
And I think it's right here where Arkham pulls the trigger, pulling that sniper shot, HKS, Tornado, you overexert on the Saku, but that is it. That is all she wrote. Faiman valiantly fighting all the way till the end, but Arkham with this turn, going into turn 23, that will be it. I don't see any other play than that, just a heavy hit, and HKS probably does it by itself. Just in case it doesn't, you get a good old wind burst or tornado. Either way is GG, guys. So Dibz on Momo going into the finals, going head to head against the truck right now with all the momentum. Or this team has a lot of momentum too, but the ones we recently been seeing, Tiki and the boys, And shout out to Tiki. He's sleeping right now, but you know, something's telling me he's giving them a lot of energy even in his sleep. Because they're doing great. They're doing insane.
Absolutely solid work from